So first, let's talk about the format of the event. It's quite new for CS community. How do you like it comparing to Swiss or GSL format?
I quite like the format. I think, the way that we get 6 teams through to the arena pretty quickly is a good thing. I just question where we put that best of one. There's probably a lot of debate as to where we can put it, whether we do it as the winners match like the Australis vs Liquid game that we have today, because both teams are already in the arena now, whether we move it to the losers game as the best of one and the opening game is the best of 3. I think there's a lot to be talked about there, but in terms of the format, I think it's a really good way to move away from the randomness of Swiss. Just means the seeding and the teams in the tournament need to be of the highest caliber, so we don't have blowouts, unfortunately, like we saw with Order.
The scene flattened a little bit. Why do you think is it like that right now?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think maybe a lot goes on within these teams that we don't know about and will never know about. You look at like SK at this event, they look very flat, right? I walk past, they're not joking around having a good time like we normally see. I heard that Bolts was sitting in the middle yesterday when Fallen is normally the guy sitting in the middle as the in-game leader. That's just the SK example. The Cloud9 one, obviously Stewie was very was vocal about Skadoodle being assertive with the AWP at the major, and now maybe not so much here. There's all these factors that play into teams and if they're going to continue to win, and potentially so many tournaments as well. So teams have to pick which tournament they want to give 110%, because if you give 110% to all the tournaments, you're going to burn out very, very quickly. I was talking to Glaive yesterday and he said this for Australis is a practice event. So if they go on to win and they're thinking about it as a practice event, same as Mouse Sports when they won last week in Kiev, they said it's just an event that they were taking the same as a practice event to try and work as a team on their map pool, and then they ended up winning the whole thing. I think that if we had a more defined calendar and it could ramp up, it would probably be better to see who the best teams in the world are. But in terms of playstyle dropping off, individuals dropping off, I can't put my finger on that.
Let's talk a bit about Order, Australian team here. It didn't go well for them, but we could expect it. What do you think about the performance here?
People need to understand when you're an Australian team like that, they have like talented players. And then Imagine used to play for Immunity. The guys like Liaz, Alistair, I think all the guys in the team have gone and played in like Asian events, like China and all that kind of stuff over the last maybe year, 2 years. So for them to come and play at an event like this and have to play against tier 1 opponents like straight away, it's always going to be very difficult to see anything. Now, what happens is they come over here. I heard that they did pretty good in practice, and that's not from them. That's from the teams that they were playing. Then they play on the stage, the nerves set in, they get counter-stratted. I think the best thing is for them is it's a learning experience. They can practice a lot now. They still have the rest of the week to play against the European squads. They go back to Australia. They can now own everyone in Australia, teach everything that they learnt, and then hopefully slowly things get better. In terms of coming to events like this, the best way, I think, for the whole region is if Asia had their own kind of ecosystem going where everyone could play everyone and everyone could slowly get better and then come to these events with a bit more of their own play style. Right now, it's still very segregated. That's why Renegades, that's why we had to move to North America, right? Because we were coming over, playing events, we had our gimmicks. They worked sometimes, they didn't work other times. It wasn't consistent practice. I think a lot of these players, if they were to play more consistently, you would see what they really had to offer. It's just a lot to learn in a very small amount of time on a massive stage, unfortunately.
Here at Katowice, many people expected Virtus.pro to advance at least to the playoffs. I mean, we know their situation right now, but what do you think about their run here?
I think there's a big question mark around like the decision to replace TaZ. Now, obviously, it's all speculation. I just assume it was for a mentality reset. You remove the figurehead of the team, then you can have a fresh mentality and you can go from there. Mihu was obviously friends with people like Bialy and Snacks before, and he's played with them before. But he's not like a carry player. It's not like he was the Polish star that was going to lead this team. He wasn't like a Simple of Poland. The problem here is they're just going to run similar strats, similar mind frame, similar approach to the game with just one new addition. If they made maybe 2 additions, it's almost like a new team, and then you redo everything. You change your positions, you change your strats, you change your approach. In terms of them not doing well, it sucks because the Polish fans love their team, and for them not to make it to the arena, it's disheartening for everybody involved, and definitely VP. So they're going through a rough time right now, and hopefully we can see them be more competitive in the future, because CS:GO without a competitive VP it's not the same.
So do you think they should make another change in the team, or it's not the right solution?
I'm not quite sure, right? I don't know how deep the talent is within the scene in Poland. I know there's AGO and, the Kingwin and stuff. There are players who we have seen in the past, perform well, but VP have I guess, the history, and they have the players who are the veterans, right? They're the ones with all the experience. These other guys are young, but none of them stand out as a superstar. So that change, it's only a minor upgrade if they're looking to change players. It might not be what they want. Maybe they're happy with the cohesion in the team, and maybe they just need more time. But this is one of the factors. It's a puzzle that I don't think anyone can solve, and VP are having a hard time doing it themselves.
How about TaZ and his future? Do you think he should be an analyst or keep playing?
Look, TaZ is obviously a guy, with a massive personality, so if he wanted to do anything in esports, then he can, right? There's nothing stopping him. He's someone who people like to listen to. He's very opinionated, so whatever he chooses to do, he's going to find success in. But he might still have the hunger to play, right? This is the thing. There's people like Sean Gez, who would be a fantastic analyst full-time, but he still has the hunger to play. Same as Pronax. He could have gone to a coaching role, still had the hunger to play. I don't know where TaZ wants to land or what he wants to do, but I think whatever he wants to do, he'll find success.